Hey, what's up, everybody? Renee here. So, Sasquatch Sunset. Wow, try saying that 3 times fast. Sasquatch Sunset, Sasquatch Sunset, Sasquatch Sunset. This movie is going to be one of the most interesting, unique, and I don't know, absurd, strange, bizarre movies you'll probably ever see for the year of 2024. And personally, it was something definitely right up my alley. I've been a huge fan of Nathan and David Zellner, especially with their movie Keough the Treasure Hunter, which I actually just watched recently, especially after knowing about it for about 10 years now. And I finally just sat down and watched it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So obviously, I was really looking forward to seeing what this movie was going to be like. And wow, it definitely was something very, very different. I laughed, I was entertained, I was taken aback by some of the craziness and silliness and the absurdity that they do in here. But it was something that I thoroughly was entertained by, and I really, really enjoyed. And what made it even more special was being able to hear Nathan and David talk a little bit about the movie before it started, kind of give their thoughts and insights on why they made a movie like this or what kind of inspired them to make a movie like this. And I was able to capture it all on video for all of you to check out. And that's basically what this video is going to be. If Sasquatch Sunset is a movie that you are kind of interested in, maybe hearing the writers and directors involved in it will get you to be excited or at least entice you a little bit more to want to see this movie. That is, if you haven't been enticed enough, and maybe this is a movie that you're already planning to see, but always great to hear from the creators behind it, to hear their thoughts and give a little bit more insights about the movie itself. It definitely made the movie a little bit more entertaining for myself, even though I would have been entertained already, but it's always nice to hear the inspirations and kind of what they went through in making this movie here. So ever since the movie debuted at South by Southwest, it's been getting a lot of buzz. And like I said, it's going to be one of the more interesting, unique films of the year. So check it out here. Special Q&A with Nathan and David Zellner, writers and directors of Sasquatch Sunset, taking place at the Museum of Moving Image right before our special screening there. So enjoy.
That 1 second delay again.
We're well rehearsed on the microphone.
Hello. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you so much for being here yourselves. So it's the Sasquatch tale, the mythology. Maybe not everybody knows that, but that's okay. But it's also something that's appealed to you for quite a while. This is not the first thing you've made with this subject matter. Can you tell us a little bit about that background and how far back it goes?
Well, so we've been obsessed with Sasquatch, Bigfoot since we were kids. I feel like in the 70s. Well, there's this film. It's called the Patterson-Gimlin film, which is the one of the most famous pieces of film in existence, where it has the Sasquatch, the iconic Sasquatch pose. There's this show on in the 70s called In Search Of that Leonard Nimoy hosted. It just explored all kinds of mysterious phenomena. And
every episode was some new phenomenon.
Yeah, it's UFOs, Bigfoot. There's one episode about the thoughts of plants, and they're it's like kind of quack explorations of plants, and I'm getting off on a tangent here, but there's a part where there's these plant. The example they showed how plants react to certain kinds of music, and it was like. Classical music played for these plants, and they're thriving, and then it was like heavy metal played for the plants, and they were like dying. But each episode was about a different thing. Anyhow, it's on YouTube. It's a great show to watch. But then an episode on Bigfoot, and it was like mesmerizing to us. And so since then we've been obsessed.
Yeah, we did a short. We actually did a movie when we were much younger, and it had a Bigfoot character in it. This is one of those movies where we're doing all the roles, and I forget how we did it. We just found some kind of pseudo
fake fur
stuff at the fabric store, and kind of made this weird Sasquatchy thing. And then we still had the suit, and then we were just joking about because there's only been, every time you see a video of Bigfoot, it's always kind of off in the distance, and it's kind of like lurking.
It's walking.
It's just walking, and we were wondering, like, what does it do?
What else?
Well, it has to have a life outside of that.
They just walk. Yeah. Just like every other animal, does things besides walk around and lurk. And so we made a short called Sasquatch Birth Journal 2, which is it's like a 4-minute short just of a Sasquatch giving birth, and that's online. It's very lo-fi. It looks like surveillance footage. It's not. It's different from this. And we also made a Sasquatch Birth Journal 1 in the reverse order, and that is like an installation that is kind of unwatchable. The intention, it gets like one shot, and it's 22 minutes long. And for 21 minutes, 30 seconds, you just see this Sasquatch in the distance in labor. And then the last 30 seconds, it gives birth, and then it cuts to black, and it's over. And, we've never watched it all the way through ourselves. It's just, but it's a good, if anyone ever wants an installation, it's available.
Put it on the background in parties.
Yeah. It's a real build-up. But anyhow, so we've always just been interested in Bigfoot. And then, but after the short that's actually watchable, Sasquatch Birth Journal 2, that did pretty well, like on the festival circuit and online, and we just kept it like so much stuff we do. It starts out as a joke. What if we did this, and then just keeps going. And we then was like, well, what if we did a feature version of Sasquatch Birth Journal 2 and built on that world? And what else are they doing? And growing up being fans of like nature documentaries and some of those kind of like Disney films where they kind of like a pack of wolves over 4 seasons kind of thing. That was kind of like a model that we were working with.
Yeah, those like nature survival stories where you're kind of taking the point of view of the animal, you're learning about the animal and how they live and how they interact in their pack. And that's where, like what you're about to see here with Sasquatch Sunset is taking that same approach. Like there's no humans in it. If you want a movie with humans, there's other movies out there that you can go see, but this one
almost definitely.
Yeah, they say studies show that 99% of movies have humans in them and speak in some kind of human language. This is not one of them. So you're not going to get. If you need a human fix, you're in the wrong place. This is all grunts, all Sasquatch, all grunts, and lots of other animals too.
What is it about folklore and urban legend that you're attracted to? Because I mean, obviously we showed Keough earlier today, and that also is sort of originated with an urban legend. I'm curious about why you're attracted.
Oh, that's something. That's a good question. That's something when people, I don't know, we're so myopic in our little headspace of making stuff. We don't think about people like yourself have better perspectives on things than we do. I think it's brought up, but I don't know. Like as kids, we loved folklore growing up. We loved like Greek mythology and loved how you could like approach ideas through allegory or whatever, through the mythologies, like in an indirect way, and kind of look at different aspects of the human condition in an indirect way, and have a sometimes more interesting fresh perspective on things by approaching material less indirectly. And so I think that it's not like a intentional thing we do, but with stepping back, I don't know, we like the idea of taking some elements of things kind of steeped in folklore and then trying to make them like almost like demythologize them and make them kind of relatable on a human level, things that are some kind of sensational element, and be able to connect with it. Because even though there's no humans in this, it's all Sasquatches. Like their behavior is like kind of like a cross section, like a Venn diagram, like cross section of human, like the gray area between human and animal behavior, and that's something that's really interesting to us, and where I think it's something. Part of human nature is really uncomfortable, like the way we kind of like to separate ourselves from the rest of the animal kingdom, and as though and this we explored the behavior of the Sasquatch, where about half their behavior is very animalistic and half is humanistic, and when you see these animals do a lot of like uncomfortable animal things, but they look kind of human-like, it's funny and absurd and hopefully poignant in equal measure depending on the part. But everything you see, we want to explore the whole spectrum of these living creatures. So you'll see them do all kinds of dignified and undignified things. But there's nothing as absurd as the movie gets and messed up at times. There's nothing in the film that animals don't do in real life every day. If you have cats or dogs, it's the same thing. Or if you've seen primate videos on YouTube, it's the same stuff.
As I told you earlier today, that I was an innocent seeing this film at Sundance. I didn't know any other names involved in the film than 2 of you. Folks here probably do know a little bit more than that, seeing the poster up front. Do you want to tell us anything at all about the involvement of Riley Keough?
Yeah, David wrote this script, and it's a really great script where a lot of detail put into the scene descriptions and stuff. Like, we didn't have the dialogue that says grunt, grunt, grunt. It was just like, kind of a description of conversations and stuff. But it's very unconventional. The project's very unconventional, and there's not really a comp for it. There's not a lot of movies. There's a couple, like we talked earlier, like Quest for Fire, or some of these other movies that kind of take a concept and really put you in the point of view of a creature or a character that doesn't have the same language capabilities. And so we were really hesitant to send it out to people, and because we didn't know what to expect, because it was something that we kind of worked on in a bubble for a while. And we've been friends with Jesse Eisenberg for a little while, and just trading scripts and giving feedback. And David was like, "Well, you should read this Sasquatch script I got."
Yeah. Well, we've known him 15 years, but we've never done any work. He's never been in one of our films. He's just been a friend. Yeah, but we're still nervous sending it to him. And it was I remember just like he didn't send on the email. It's like, and then in a few hours he wrote back and he totally got it and was all in. And it's the same with Riley Keough. I think what they both saw in it was this opportunity to do something that they would never get to do in any other kind of setting, which is go, just completely feral, and how liberating that they thought as something exciting rather than the opposite, and also there's something I think through making it we kind of realized that we're taking a lot from almost like silent filmmaking in terms of both the filmmaking and in terms of performance, because how to convey information just through the character's expression or just through the visuals, but not being able to rely on dialogue for exposition.
I'm pretty sure you're not going to be here at the end, and I want to get to the film. Obviously, do you want to say anything about the costuming here, the kind of what we're looking at in terms of what went into that?
Yeah.
Nathan plays one of the Sasquatches.
I do play one of the Sasquatches.
Which is going to really pay off later.
Yeah.
Which one you play?
If you notice a Sasquatch in the film that's a total asshole.
We worked with one of the company that we produced the film with, Square Peg, is Ari Aster's company, and they have a connection to a really great creature designer. His name is Steve Newbern. And he did all of Ari's movies, and he's just been around for forever, and really loved the idea of putting costumes in every shot, complex makeup that kind of is in every single frame of the film, which is really difficult because most of the time these creatures are on green screen or they're buried in the background
or sound stages.
Yeah, so it's not like something that this was really pushing this type of skill to the extremes, and he really was up for the challenge of designing it and implementing it. But yeah, it was, and I think all the actors too, we all were really excited about that opportunity. We're not creature performers, we don't. This is very rare for us to get to do this sort of thing.
Yeah, just a couple other things with that real quick. A lot of times actors they're in creature costume stuff, it's more like stunt people and stuff because they're more in the backdrop. And for us, because we wanted you to hopefully be invested in these characters, we wanted like actors, and even though things get very big and absurd at points, we wanted to also embrace the nuance of their performance. So it was crucial. It wasn't just a gimmick of putting Jesse and Riley in the costumes. It was we wanted to actually have really good. So the first challenge of having these nuanced performances through Bigfoot was something exciting to us, and we also. Motion capture is great, and that seems to dominate so much of creature stuff in films these days. But we're partly because we're old school, and partly we wanted to kind of ground this with a naturalism as much as possible. We like the idea of going just old school, full practical. There's no CGI with the creatures. They're all old school, and so we wanted that to be natural. Just everything to make it as naturalistic as possible to kind of ground it with realism. That's why we shot on location. We shot in Northern California in the redwood forests, right right by where they shot Return of the Jedi. Like it was like literally in the same spots around there. And also there's this the environment, there's no like sets or anything. We shot everything like in the woods, but that added to the complexity of bringing these creature costumes out there.
Their natural habitat. It's
Look,
it's the most accurate.
That's where the most sightings in the world are in Humboldt County, which is also the weed capital of the world. There might be a correlation, but we don't know.
Is there anything else you want them to know going in?
Camera? About the camera?
Oh, well, yeah. The cinematographer, a great cinematographer that we worked with, is Mike Delacus, who's done tons of big movies, and we wanted the look of it to have just a naturalistic feel. It's not it's almost all natural lighting. So which is not something you typically do with creature work either. So we really wanted to take these creatures and put them in as natural a setting as you could.
Well, I want to say the film opens on Friday. Is that correct?
Yes, April 12th.
April 12th, so soon. I feel this strongly. Like, not only was I so excited when I saw this in January at Sundance, but it's the film I talked about the most with everyone at the entire festival.
Oh.
I did a podcast with a friend. We were supposed to talk about 10 films. We talked about this film for like most of it. It's a film I swear to God you're going to be talking about a lot, and I think it's going to stand the test of time in that way too. So the fact that you're getting a chance to see it first in this way is really special. And thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thanks, and thank you so much for having us here. And we love this theater so much too. So it's such a treat to have it here. So yeah, thank you for coming out. Hope you enjoy it.
Enjoy.